I don't know if entrepreneurship can be taught. I know it can be learned, but that's certainly not what I'm going to be doing here today. What I'll try to do is tell you about the company I'm in now, my day job, and hopefully by learning something about that story, questions will be raised in your minds about what it is to start a company, start a business, to be an entrepreneur. I want to convey to them that since this is about entrepreneurship, that it's great to be an entrepreneur. But I also want to convey to them that it's not something you teach. It's something you may learn, in particular by doing. And it's great. It's great to feel you're solving a problem, that you're creating your own job, that you're creating jobs for other people eventually, and that you're bringing an idea to fruition. So, highly recommended path to follow if you can take a few risks. I'm going to tell you about this company called Alfama. We're a very small company. Although our name is very Portuguese, actually we are not a Portuguese company. We have a Portuguese subsidiary, but we are an American company. This is what we do. We're developing a new class of drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, okay? Based on a principle, a molecule called CO can be used primarily as an anti-inflammatory, but also as a molecule that prevents the death of cells in the body. What are we selling? What is our value proposition? So first of all, what we tell investors first is that we have one lead compound. There's a drug, a particular compound, that is better than anything else in the world right now, and thus will become the standard of care for any disease where you need to treat the liver. The other thing we're selling is what we call a platform. We have hundreds of molecules, all based on this principle, on the release of carbon monoxide. So we have hundreds of different molecules, and we dominate the intellectual property that covers these molecules. We have a long-term value for investors, for us, etc., of potentially many drugs that can come to the market because of the intellectual property we possess. When you start a business, it's not just about the management itself. You need to understand the roots of the business.
Watching other entrepreneurs and having the opportunity to talk to them, to chat with them, and to see their experience, I think it's very, very positive. So I hope I can apply later on in my future what I've been learning in these sessions.
Most entrepreneurs spend most of their time trying to convince others, convince their investors, their potential partners, their employees, convince them about the merits of their own idea or ideas. The real asset of the company is knowledge or intellectual property, which is usually, in this case, protected by patents. And one great thing about Alfama, as I see it at least, is that we actually dominate completely our IP space, which is very rare in an early stage technology-based company. In anything we do, we always try to get the best people to do it. And never think, oh, we're in Portugal, we have to get some sort of second-rate lawyer or scientist. No, you have to get the best. If you believe your idea, the best people will believe it as well. And again, what I'm trying to do is convey to you the kinds of things that I guess an entrepreneur has to think about. One thing is having a technology, having something theoretically very good with some experimental data. The other thing is having a product that you can sell in the market, that can be put, in this case, on a bottle and be given to people. So now we're getting to the more market or commercial aspect of the idea. What you see here is a partial list of diseases, or markets, if you want to think from that angle, in which our quorums, our molecules, different molecules that we own, have proven to be efficacious in animals. Now imagine the potential of actually being able to treat several of these diseases better than anything that exists.
I think overall I understood a little bit more how the mind of an entrepreneur works. I think it's very interesting to watch these examples, see the risks that entrepreneurs really need to take, and after all, and the thrill that they get when they achieve success.
A lot of science-based companies are built by scientists who are very smart and very sophisticated and think very well of the theory and of the potential, even sometimes the market opportunity, etc. But many companies fail on the translation of that into an actual product that you can sell. Market in this area is equivalent to disease. A disease is a market for a drug. Okay? So why are we going after acute liver failure? It's not a big market. It's actually a small market. It's a niche. But it's a good niche because there's only one drug that does anything that you can get at the hospital called NAC. And it's essentially a bad drug. So if you get to the hospital with the liver dying because you took too much Tylenol, the only thing doctors will give you is this drug NAC, and it's not so good. If you arrive at the hospital more than 8 hours after you took the pill, there's nothing NAC will do. So the rationale is this: it's a good economic niche, not the biggest market, but the best market to be our first, to be our test tube, if you will. I wanted to tell you about the need for focus. Sometimes there's very good ideas that are completely lost because they're so good that you don't know where to focus. For example, something that treats every disease in the world, and this has happened. You know, there have been inventions of things that treat a lot of diseases and are still in the lab because nobody has been able to focus on what was going to work first. So we have all this potential, but we're still focusing on a small market that is liver disease. A project has to start with an opportunity, an idea, a pain, a need that you're going to solve. You don't get together because you're friends and then think of what ideas you need to have. It has to be the opposite. You gather the people that make sense for the team, not because they're closest or they're of your age group or they're your friends or neighbors, but because they are the people who fit. And in our case, I guess we were lucky because I met two people that had the two sides of the scientific idea. So they naturally came together, and I naturally came together because I was interested in making companies, and they were not. I mean, they were interested in making companies, but they're not interested in being business people. So maybe that was lucky. The complementarity of skills was what made the company come together, and not friendship or any other kind of consideration.
To build a company, to incorporate a company, we don't have to find someone that is close to us, that has some kind of empathy with us, but we have to find someone that gives us some kind of a complementarity of our skills, and I think this is the big idea that I caught today.
After you become an entrepreneur, you become also unemployable. You know, it's hard. It's hard to have a job after you've had the freedom and the adrenaline of doing this. If at some point Alfama ends in the best or the worst way, I probably will be starting another business. I'm already involved in other businesses to some extent, but I would probably be starting another business somewhere. It's perfectly possible that in a matter of months, Alfama doesn't exist. But that's been true for the last 5 years. So, so that's the adrenaline part of entrepreneurship.